Katt Williams has finally started to speak about Diddy and what he allegedly did to Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart behind the scenes. Remember when he said this?
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
That bombshell came from his viral Club Shay Shay interview, but now it feels like he's back again. And this time he's not holding anything back. Is the truth finally coming out about the industry's darkest secrets? Let's get into it. The shocking revelations that rocked Hollywood. Before we dive deeper into what Katt Williams allegedly put on blast in court, it's important to understand the bigger picture. Diddy is currently facing over 40 lawsuits with serious allegations including sexual assault, sex trafficking, and racketeering. His federal trial for sex trafficking and racketeering kicked off on May 5th, 2025, with jury selection wrapped up on May 12th, 2025. The hip-hop mogul has pleaded not guilty and is being held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. So where does Katt Williams fit into all this mess? Let's rewind. Back in January 2024, Katt hopped on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast and went full throttle. No filters, no fluff, just raw truth. He dropped some wild claims about what really goes on in the industry and name-dropped a few big players. Diddy, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart. Nobody was safe. The internet ate it up. That interview hit millions of views in days, and folks still haven't stopped talking about it.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
During this sit-down, Williams wasn't holding back at all. He directly addressed what he saw as corruption and exploitation in the entertainment industry, making specific allegations about several celebrities. In particular, he claimed that he had to turn down $50 million multiple times to maintain his integrity, specifically when it came to Diddy's parties.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you.
The viral interview triggered immediate backlash and responses from those Williams called out. What makes this situation particularly crazy is how Williams' comments about Diddy from January 2024 now seem straight prophetic, as they came months before Diddy's cribs were raided by federal agents on March 25th, 2024, and before his arrest on September 16th, 2024. But what exactly did Williams say about Diddy's alleged actions towards Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart? When discussing Steve Harvey, Williams alleged that Harvey jacked the premise of Mark Curry's sitcom Hanging with Mr. Cooper for The Steve Harvey Show and clowned his acting abilities. He also claimed Harvey stopped doing stand-up comedy after allegedly taking an L in a comedy battle to Williams in Detroit, not because of his television success as Harvey has claimed.
This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories.
As for Kevin Hart, Williams called him an industry plant, suggesting his success in Hollywood was orchestrated rather than earned through the struggle. Williams claimed Hart had movie deals already locked in when he arrived in Los Angeles, something Williams found sus.
Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person.
What's particularly wild about this situation is how, in the months since Williams' interview, several individuals have stepped forward with accusations against Diddy, many claiming they witnessed or experienced misconduct. These include former bodyguards like Gene Deal and folks within the music industry, creating a pattern of allegations that have given Williams' general claims about the industry more weight. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has been especially vocal lately. In several interviews, Deal has shared stories about his time working for the music mogul, some of which back up aspects of what Williams hinted at regarding Diddy's alleged behavior in parties.
You would go to a party with him, and you looking around like, damn, like, a lot of guys kissing each other in here, man. You feel me? What y'all do is y'all business.
So you've been to a party and seen this?
Oh, I've seen it firsthand, multiple times.
Another bodyguard who worked with celebrities known as Big Homie CC has also made claims about witnessing some suspect behavior at Diddy's parties, including alleged drug use and questionable activities.
All the waitresses topless. They serving you, everybody topless, you feel me? Like, he got dancers in cages, people walking around with lions on tigers on leashes. I've seen this with my own 2 eyes. And it was getting so weird in the party. I'm like, man.
What's particularly striking about this situation is how the narrative has evolved over time. Williams' January 2024 interview, which initially got mixed reactions from the public, with some dismissing his claims as cap or motivated by personal beef, has been reevaluated as more info has come to light. Many social media users have noted that Williams appeared to be dropping knowledge about certain industry practices months before they became headline news. Actress and comedian Monique, during her own appearance on Club Shay Shay, spoke about why she believes Williams catches so much heat when he speaks his truth about the industry.
That's why people have such a problem with Katt Williams. People have a problem with people that says, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth.
Monique further broke down why she believes there's resistance to truth tellers in the entertainment industry, especially when the messenger doesn't fit what people expect.
It's so easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Right.
When we have our juggernauts, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, these are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, when I grow up, I want to be that.
Yes.
I want to be like that. So we have to call those people to the mat and say, listen, what are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars, but my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I got a lot of money in my bank. It's more zeros than some of them than we can imagine, but their character, they are bankrupt.
As the dust settles on these allegations and counter-allegations, one thing remains clear. The entertainment industry is going through a major moment of reckoning. The boundaries between public image and private behavior are being redrawn, and figures once considered untouchable are facing unprecedented scrutiny. Inside Diddy's empire, the allegations and evidence. Diddy is currently facing charges of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation for purposes of prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy. These aren't isolated incidents, according to prosecutors, but part of a criminal enterprise that allegedly operated since at least 2004. The indictment includes allegations of sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. For many, the major turning point in public perception came with the release of a 2016 hotel security video showing Diddy putting hands on his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. The footage dropped by CNN showed Diddy grabbing Ventura, throwing her to the ground, and kicking her while she was down, backing up claims she had made in a lawsuit filed against him in November 2023. While this lawsuit was settled out of court within a day of filing, the video receipts have become a key piece of the prosecution's case. During the ongoing jury selection for Diddy's trial, the impact of this video has been clear as day. As reporter Lauren LaRosa, who was in the building during the first day of jury selection, noted,
a lot of them jurors, y'all saw that Cassie video. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you.
How could they not? It was on CNN. It literally was a CNN exclusive video.
That was the reoccurring theme. People kept bringing that up. So one woman said that she didn't see the full video, but she saw a screenshot of the video, and that it was very, can I say
damning?
Yes.
Yes, you can
it
say
was
that.
very damning.
what makes the current situation particularly wild is the sheer number of accusers who have stepped forward. According to reports, Diddy faces over 40 civil lawsuits with claims from at least 10 publicly identified victims and many anonymous ones. In October 2024, attorney Tony Busby announced he was representing 120 accusers with claims dating back over 20 years. Among the most notable accusers are 1. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend from 2007 to 2018, who alleged rape, physical abuse, and sex trafficking. 2. Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr., a producer who filed a lawsuit in February 2024 accusing Diddy of sexual assault and running a criminal enterprise involving drugs, firearms, and sex workers. 3. Thalia Graves, represented by attorney Gloria Allred, she accused Diddy of drugging and raping her in 2001. 4. Crystal McKinney filed a lawsuit alleging Diddy drugged her and forced her into oral sex during a 2003 Fashion Week event. 5. Dawn Richard, a former member of Diddy's groups Danity Kane and Dirty Money, who claimed she witnessed Diddy's violence against Ventura and Kim Porter and alleged personal harassment. Several of these accusers are expected to testify in Diddy's trial, which began on May 5th, 2025, with jury selection completed on May 12th, 2025. The trial is going down at the Federal District Court in Lower Manhattan. But how does this connect to Katt Williams' claims about Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart? The link is somewhat indirect, but potentially significant. Williams has suggested that there's a power dynamic in Hollywood that allows certain behaviors to continue unchecked, with figures like Diddy allegedly allegedly flexing influence over other celebrities' careers. During his viral interview on Club Shay Shay, Williams never explicitly claimed that Diddy did something specific to Steve Harvey or Kevin Hart. Instead, his critiques of Harvey and Hart were separate from his comments about Diddy. He criticized Harvey for alleged plagiarism and questioned Hart's rise to fame, suggesting it was engineered rather than earned.
For others, I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next. Okay. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment.
Williams has been particularly outspoken about what he calls the dress agenda, the alleged practice of pressuring successful black male entertainers to wear dresses or take on feminine roles as a form of control or humiliation. This claim has been echoed by other entertainers like Dave Chappelle, who told Oprah that he was pressured to wear a dress but refused. What's interesting is how these allegations intersect with the claims made against Diddy. Multiple witnesses, including former bodyguards, have alleged that Diddy's parties often featured sus or compromising situations that could potentially be used for blackmail or control. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has claimed that Diddy recorded guests at his parties, creating footage that could later be leveraged for influence. Furthermore, former celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC has made similar allegations, suggesting that recording celebrities in compromising positions was common practice among certain industry power players. When asked if he believed Diddy had footage of celebrities that could be used as blackmail, he stated,
"It was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They'll hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things." You see what I'm saying?
He further elaborated,
"Because if he deny it, what's finna come out? Footage."
You think Diddy has footage on Meek?
For sure. He got cameras through his whole crib. Every millionaire, billionaire I've been around, bro, they got...
These claims about recording footage at parties connect to another significant element of the case against Diddy, the federal raid on his properties on March 25th, 2024. During these raids at his cribs in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami, authorities reportedly seized narcotics, illegally modified weapons, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. They also allegedly confiscated numerous electronic devices that may contain evidence relevant to the case. One former witness who has made particularly explosive claims is Courtney Burgess, who allegedly testified before a grand jury that he had seen sex tapes featuring Diddy and 8 celebrity victims, including at least 2 underage male stars. While these claims have not been independently verified, they add to the growing body of allegations suggesting Diddy may have compromising material on various celebrities. The claims about recording parties and gatherings also connect to allegations made in the lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr., who accused Diddy of hosting what he called freak-offs, allegedly drug-fueled sexual performances that Diddy would record. According to the lawsuit, these recordings were sometimes used to ensure compliance or silence from participants. What's particularly interesting is how some celebrities have reacted since Diddy's legal troubles became public. According to various reports and social media observations, several celebrities who were previously associated with Diddy have distanced themselves. Some have reportedly deleted social media posts showing them with Diddy, while others have avoided commenting on the situation entirely. For instance, there have been claims that Steve Harvey deleted old tweets about Diddy, including one from 2017 where he allegedly called Diddy a brother doing good for these kids. However, it's important to note that these claims have not been independently verified and should be treated as speculative rather than factual. Similarly, there have been claims that Meek Mill has been unusually quiet since Diddy's arrest, with some speculating this is due to fears about potential footage. Big Homie CC addressed these rumors.
So then, you go on his Twitter page, you click on his likes, bro. You see things that he's liking. That's questionable. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ace, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Styles, put that on something you gonna pop out with. No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy?
Hell no.
No.
He continued,
so like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are a lie. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he deny it, what's finna come out? Footage.
the fallout in future, how Harvey, Hart, and Hollywood respond. First, it's important to address how Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart specifically have responded to the claims made by Katt Williams in his viral Club Shay Shay interview. While Williams didn't directly accuse Diddy of doing anything to Harvey or Hart, he did make separate critiques of both men that questioned their authenticity and industry practices. Kevin Hart was one of the few celebrities to respond directly to Williams' claims. In a January 2024 Instagram live session, Hart dismissed Williams' allegations, stating, "You want my response? I'm getting ready to go on stage right now to perform in front of 70,000 people." He further characterized Williams' comments as coming from a place of just negativity and hate, and encouraged his followers to go get a ticket to my movie Lift that's on Netflix right now. Steve Harvey, on the other hand, has not directly responded to Williams' allegations about him. However, during a February 2023 episode of his radio show, before Williams' viral interview, Harvey made comments that seemed to anticipate criticism from figures like Williams. He stated, "There are repercussions when you speaking truth to power. Not everybody can handle the truth." As Monique pointed out during her own Club Shay Shay interview,
well, remember when we were children? What would your grandmother tell you?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, because if not, there will be what? Repercussions.
Right.
Well, now it's got turned around. When you tell the truth, there'll be repercussions. So what's the opposite of that? Should I tell a lie and get a reward? So that's how we're rolling right now. That's how we're...
Regarding the Diddy scandal specifically, neither Harvey nor Hart has made direct public statements about the allegations against Diddy or their own relationships with him. This silence has been noted by many observers, particularly given that both men had professional and social connections to Diddy in the past. What's particularly notable is how the allegations against Diddy connect to broader claims about industry practices. Williams' assertions about the dress agenda, the alleged practice of pressuring successful black male entertainers to wear dresses or portray themselves in feminine ways, have gained renewed attention in light of the Diddy scandal. Williams claimed during his interview that Hart initially refused to wear a dress, but later did so on Saturday Night Live, after which his career allegedly blew up. This, Williams suggested, was part of a pattern of industry control. These claims about industry control mechanisms connect to the allegations that Diddy recorded compromising footage of celebrities at his parties. According to former celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC,
So I firmly believe that's true, because in that sector of people, a lot of them practice Scientology. And Scientology, that was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They'll hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things. You see what I'm saying? So like, you know what, if you see somebody with the chain on, with that little vial of blood on their neck, well, they a Scientologist, bro.
The allegations about recording footage for potential blackmail are particularly significant in light of the federal raids on Diddy's properties, which reportedly resulted in the seizure of numerous electronic devices. If such footage does exist, it could potentially be part of the evidence in Diddy's ongoing trial. Lauren LaRosa, who was present during the first day of jury selection, noted that Diddy appeared visibly stressed and nervous during the proceedings.
He looked stressed out.
He's definitely a lot thinner. Face is very pale. A lot of gray hair. Some black, but a lot of gray hair. You could tell he was nervous, and he said it in the courtroom. He had asked to go to the bathroom. He was like, "Excuse me, Judge. You know, I'm a little bit nervous."
The outcome of this trial could have far-reaching implications, not just for Diddy, but for the entire entertainment industry. If convicted, Diddy faces potential life imprisonment. But beyond the legal consequences, this case may force a broader reckoning with power dynamics and accountability in Hollywood. What's particularly significant about this moment is how it has shifted public perception of figures like Katt Williams. Once dismissed by many as bitter or exaggerating, Williams' claims about industry practices have gained credibility as more evidence has emerged supporting some of his broader assertions. This shift in perception is reflective of a broader change in how we view whistleblowers and truth tellers. As information that was once hidden becomes public, previously marginalized voices gain new legitimacy. This dynamic was addressed by Monique during her Club Shay Shay interview.
People have a hard time hearing a 5'5" giant tell the truth. People have a hard time with a black woman over 200 pounds tell the truth, because people that look like us, we should just be grateful.
What makes this situation especially wild is how public sentiment has shifted. When Williams first dropped his claims in January 2024, reactions were mixed. Many dismissed him as bitter or jealous of others' success. However, as events have unfolded and more evidence has surfaced, a growing number of people have reassessed Williams' statements, viewing them not as cap from assault salty comedian, but as warnings from someone with insider knowledge of some shady industry practices. Some observers have noted shifts in behavior among celebrities who previously associated with Diddy. For instance, there have been claims that Leonardo DiCaprio and Ashton Kutcher bounced from the country shortly after news broke about Diddy's legal troubles, though these claims remain unverified and should be treated as speculative. What's particularly significant about these allegations is how they connect to broader critiques of Hollywood power structures. Williams' comments about the dress agenda and industry control mechanisms align with criticisms made by other entertainers who have spoken out against what they perceive as exploitative practices. Actor Terrence Howard reportedly made similar claims during a podcast interview, suggesting that Diddy had tried to approach him under the guise of a business opportunity, but with ulterior motives. These claims about pressure and manipulation connect to the broader question of how power operates in Hollywood. The allegations against Diddy suggest a system where compromising situations are engineered, recorded, and potentially used as leverage. Exactly the kind of control mechanism Williams seemed to be alluding to in his comments about industry practices. Big Homie CC elaborated on this dynamic during his interview, suggesting that recorded footage was a common tool for maintaining control.
Because that's probably where he got that from. And being somebody who people call when things get crazy, like some of the most powerful people I bodyguarded for like to get tied up. You feel me? They got videos of them getting tied up, somebody spanking them with a whip. A lot of powerful guys operate like that.
As Diddy's trial proceeds, the pressure on various industry figures to address their relationships with him is likely to increase. This pressure will be particularly intense for those who had close professional or social ties to Diddy, including figures like Harvey and Hart. What's clear is that this moment represents a potential inflection point for the entertainment industry. The allegations against Diddy extend beyond his individual actions to implicate broader systems of power and control. If substantiated, they suggest a need for fundamental changes in how the industry operates and polices itself. For whistleblowers like Katt Williams, this moment may represent a vindication of sorts. Having faced criticism and professional consequences for speaking out, Williams may now be seen as prescient rather than bitter. This shift in perception highlights how truth-telling, while often costly in the short term, can eventually lead to recognition and reevaluation. Monique touched on this dynamic during her Club Shay Shay interview, suggesting that truth-tellers are often dismissed or marginalized until their claims are validated by events.
We should just be grateful that someone paid us attention. I've dealt with that my whole life. I've dealt with that. So when you get to a space where you say, listen, I want to be free. I want to be free. I don't want to walk around intimidated, scared, fearful. What might happen? What they gonna what they gonna say? What they gonna do? If it's your story and it's the truth, tell it. Because what you can do is be in a position to prevent it happening to someone else over and over and over again.
As judicial proceedings continue and more evidence potentially emerges, the full scope of Diddy's alleged actions and their implications for the broader industry will become clearer. What's already evident, however, is that the entertainment landscape has been irrevocably altered by these revelations. The voices of those who were once marginalized or dismissed are gaining strength, and systems that once seemed untouchable are showing cracks. In this new environment, truth-telling, despite its costs and risks, may finally be rewarded rather than punished. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.
You're gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me.
Diddy knew an arrest was coming, but what he didn't see coming was how fast his empire would start crumbling. Now with his back against the wall, Diddy isn't going down alone. He's naming names in court and dragging Hollywood into the fire. And trust me, you won't believe who he just exposed on the stand. Let's get into it. The celebs caught in the crossfire.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. And of course, I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case, we're gonna make damn sure that we're right before we do that.
That's one of the lawyers involved in the case, talking about how they're eventually gonna name other people besides Diddy. And then he drops this bombshell.
But the names that we're gonna name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you.
First up, let's talk about the ones who've been straight up named as defendants in these lawsuits. One of the biggest names is Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter. According to a December 2024 civil complaint, Jay-Z and Diddy are accused of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl back in 2000 at a post-MTV VMAs party. Jay-Z has denied these allegations hard, and it's important to note that being named in a lawsuit ain't the same as being found guilty. Then we got Stevie J, the producer and reality TV star. He was named in Rodney Jones's $30 million lawsuit filed in February 2024, which claims Diddy used Stevie to groom and entice Jones into homosexual acts. Stevie J has denied seeing any wrongdoing. R&B singer Aaron Hall is another name that's popped up. He was named as a defendant in a November 2023 complaint in New York Supreme Court, accused of sexually assaulting Liza Gardner, who was 16 at the time back in 1990. This lawsuit was filed under New York's Adult Survivors Act, which allowed victims to sue for previously time-barred claims. Harve Pierre, former president of Bad Boy Records, has been accused in 2 separate lawsuits of grooming, exploiting, gang and sex trafficking a 17-year-old back in 2003. He's denied these allegations. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. has also been named. Rodney Jones Jr., also known as Lil Rod, accused Gooding of sexual harassment and assault on Diddy's yacht. It's worth noting that Gooding has previously pleaded guilty to forcible touching in a separate case. Some more recent additions to the list include NFL player Odell Beckham Jr. and comedian Drusky. They were both named as defendants in an amended complaint filed on March 7, 2025 by Ashley Parham and 2 unnamed plaintiffs. Both have denied the allegations on social media. Diddy's son, Justin Dior Combs, has been accused by Jones of soliciting workers, underage girls, and being present during a shooting. His lawyer has called these allegations bonkers. Justin was seen handcuffed during one of the raids on Diddy's properties but wasn't arrested. And then there's Jacob the jeweler, real name Jacob Arabo. He was accused by Adria English in a July 2024 lawsuit of forced intercourse at Diddy's demand during white parties. English claims she saw him ingest narcotics at these events. Jacob has a prior money laundering conviction, but hasn't commented on these allegations. Now let's talk about the celebs who aren't defendants but have been mentioned in these lawsuits. Young Miami, one half of the City Girls, has been accused of being part of Diddy's alleged trafficking operation, bringing drugs, and receiving a monthly stipend as a sex worker. Her cousin is also accused of groping Rodney Jones. Young Miami's representatives haven't commented on these allegations. Kalena Harper, a former member of Diddy Dirty Money, is mentioned as having witnessed Diddy's abuse of Cassie Ventura and later encouraging Ventura to leave. She allegedly received 58 calls and texts from Combs after Ventura filed her lawsuit. Harper has denied some of these allegations in an Instagram statement. Jimmy Iovine, co-founder of Interscope Records, is alleged to have witnessed Diddy punch Ventura at a dinner, but a deal with Interscope proceeded anyway. Iovine hasn't commented on these allegations. Lucian Grange, CEO of Universal Music Group, was originally named as a defendant, accused of aiding racketeering and sex trafficking, but was dropped from the lawsuit in May 2024 with prejudice. Grange called the accusations offensively false and filed a motion to dismiss. Let's not forget the celebs who've been mentioned but aren't accused of any wrongdoing. Prince Harry is one of the most surprising names to pop up. He's mentioned in Rodney Jones's lawsuit, which alleges that Combs' associates gained access to him, but there are no specific accusations against the prince. Nicki Minaj is mentioned in passing, with no wrongdoing alleged in relation to a redacted Philadelphia rapper who dated her. Usher, who we heard from earlier about living with Diddy as a teen, is mentioned as having been at a dinner where abuse was witnessed, but no wrongdoing is alleged against him. Bishop T.D. Jakes is not accused of anything, but is mentioned in Jones's filing, which alleges Combs planned to leverage their relationship to soften the impact of Cassie's lawsuit. There are also several other names that have come up in various contexts, such as the Georgia Mass Choir, Donald Lawrence, the Clark Sisters, and Smokey Norfolk, who are named in relation to professional engagements with Jones, not accused of any wrongdoing. During jury selection, potential jurors were shown a list that included even more celebrity names like Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Mike Myers, Michelle Williams, Lauren London, Dawn Richard, and Dallas Austin. This doesn't mean they're implicated. It's just to make sure jurors don't have connections or biases related to people who might come up during the trial. There's another aspect of this case that has everybody going crazy on social media, the so-called Diddy list. A viral list has circulated online featuring names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Beyonce, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, Howard Stern, Russell Brand, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, Russell Simmons, Usher, and Megan Fox. However, it's crucial to understand that this list is pure speculation and not based on official legal proceedings. During jury selection on May 6, 2025, potential jurors were shown a list of at least 190 names, including Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Mike Myers, Michelle Williams, Lauren London, Dawn Richard, and Dallas Austin. Specific connections mentioned include Michael B. Jordan dating Cassie Ventura in 2015, allegedly making Diddy mad, and Kid Cudi being alleged as a victim of a 2011 car bombing by Diddy as he was romantically involved with Ventura. Others have no specified relation, and their inclusion suggests potential mentions during the trial, not direct involvement. The involvement of celebrities in the Diddy case has sparked major media attention. Legal experts like Niyama Rahmani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, have suggested that attendees of Diddy's freak-offs could be witnesses or co-defendants. This has led to speculation and social media activity, with some celebrities like Usher and Megan Fox reportedly deleting posts, which looks like they're trying to clean up their image. There's one more thing to note. Combs filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit in January 2025 against Courtney Burgess, who alleged possessing videos of Combs assaulting minors, including celebrities. This lawsuit names Burgess, his attorney Ariel Mitchell, and News Nation for airing these claims, which Combs denies as malicious falsehoods. However, this is about Combs suing for defamation, not him exposing celebrities in court. That was a clip from an interview where Diddy looks uncomfortable when asked if he has anything to confess. This was way before all this drama popped off, but it hits different now with everything that's gone down. Now, y'all might have seen some lists floating around online with even more celebrity names. There's a viral Diddy list that includes people like Leonardo DiCaprio, Beyonce, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, Howard Stern, Russell Brand, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, Russell Simmons, and Megan Fox. But here's the tea. These lists ain't backed by any court documents or legit sources. They're just speculation based on who's been seen at Diddy's parties over the years. What does all this mean for these celebs? Well, legal experts like Niyama Rahmani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, have suggested that attendees of Diddy's freak-offs could be witnesses or co-defendants. This has led to a lot of speculation and social media activity, with some celebrities like Usher and Megan Fox reportedly deleting posts. But we gotta remember, being named in a lawsuit or mentioned in court documents ain't the same as being found guilty. Everyone deserves due process, and it's important not to jump to conclusions based on allegations that haven't been proven in court. Let's now talk about some serious allegations Diddy is facing right now that have sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the music industry. Inside Diddy's explosive federal trial, Sean Diddy Combs, the hip-hop mogul who's been running the game since the 90s, is currently locked up and facing some serious heat. The trial kicked off with jury selection on May 5th, 2025 in Manhattan Federal Court. And the streets are talking, y'all. We're talking charges like trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation for prostitution. That's some heavyweight stuff that could put him behind bars for life if he's found guilty. Y'all remember how this whole mess started? It was back in November 2023 when Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex, filed a lawsuit against him alleging years of abuse. That joint was settled mad quick, like the very next day, but it opened the floodgates. Since then, we've seen over 63 civil lawsuits filed against Diddy, with over 100 people claiming they got some type of beef with him dating all the way back to 1991.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
Yeah, that's Usher talking about his time living with Diddy as a teen. Wild, right? L.A. Reid really sent a young Usher to what they called Flavor Camp with Diddy.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
Usher was just a youngin' when he moved in with Diddy, and he saw some things that had him shook. This ain't just about some wild parties, though. The feds came through and raided Diddy's cribs in both Los Angeles and Miami back in March 2024 as part of this sex trafficking investigation. Then in September 2024, they slapped him with those federal charges, and he's been locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn ever since. Judge wasn't having it with the bail request, calling Diddy a serious flight risk. As for the current situation, jury selection is still going down as of May 8th, 2025. They've qualified about 45 potential jurors so far, and they're looking to finalize that jury with peremptory strikes on May 9th. If everything goes according to plan, opening statements should kick off on Monday, May 12th. But here's what's got the internet in a frenzy. During jury selection, prospective jurors were shown a list of at least 190 names, including Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, and more. That doesn't mean these celebs did anything wrong or that Diddy's exposing them. It's just standard procedure to make sure jurors don't have connections or biases related to people who might come up during the trial. Now let's talk about what these freak-off parties allegedly were. According to the prosecution, these weren't just your average turn-ups. They're described as elaborate, drug-fueled sexual performances that Diddy supposedly orchestrated, involving coercion and threats to silence victims. The indictment claims this was all part of a criminal enterprise that ran from 2004 to 2024, with Diddy's associates and employees involved in everything from forced labor to kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. If convicted, Diddy's looking at some serious time. Life in prison is possible for the racketeering charge, a minimum of 15 years for sex trafficking, and up to 10 years for the transportation for prostitution charge. But Diddy and his legal team ain't going down without a fight. He pleaded not guilty back in March 2025 to the updated indictment, and they're trying to get the transportation charge dismissed, arguing it's targeting him because of his race and citing the statute's racist origins. They're saying his lifestyle was that of a swinger, not a criminal, and they rejected a plea deal, showing they're confident in fighting this case. Now let's examine the implications of this case, the public response, and what it might mean for the entertainment industry moving forward. Implications and the truth behind the hype. Now let's talk about these viral Diddy lists that have been making the rounds on social media. People are comparing them to the Jeffrey Epstein list, but there's a big difference. The Epstein list was based on actual court documents and flight logs, while these Diddy lists are mostly speculation and rumor. Y'all might have seen some wild posts on X, formerly Twitter, making all kinds of claims. For example, a post by @TheroFootDoc claimed Diddy had sex tapes involving 8 celebrities, including minors, but there's no verification for this, and it's not reflected in any court proceedings. Similarly, @Awakened Outlaw mentioned lawsuits implicating high-profile figures, but again, no court evidence supports these claims. In fact, Diddy filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit in January 2025 against Courtney Burgess, who alleged possessing videos of Combs sexually assaulting minors, including celebrities. This lawsuit names Burgess, his attorney Ariel Mitchell, and News Nation for airing these claims, which Combs denies as malicious falsehoods. So Diddy's actually suing people for making these kinds of claims, not confirming them. Let's break down what we actually know from the court documents and legal proceedings. The current trial involves 5 federal counts against Diddy. 1 count of racketeering, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The trial is expected to last at least 8 weeks, with jury selection still ongoing until May 12, 2025. The allegations center around what prosecutors call freak-off parties, which they describe as elaborate drug-fueled sexual performances orchestrated by Diddy, involving coercion and threats to silence victims. The indictment alleges a criminal enterprise spanning from 2004 to 2024, with Diddy's associates and employees involved in various offenses. During the raids on Diddy's properties in March 2024, law enforcement seized over 100 electronic devices and interviewed more than 50 witnesses. The evidence from these raids led to the federal charges announced in September 2024. Diddy has pleaded not guilty and continues to maintain his innocence. His legal team has described his lifestyle as that of a swinger, not a criminal, and rejected a plea deal. They're also trying to get the transportation for prostitution charge dismissed, arguing it targets him due to his race and citing the statute's historical racist origins. Now, what about all these celebrities whose names have come up? As we've gone through in detail, some are named as defendants in various lawsuits, some are mentioned as witnesses or in passing, and others are just on lists shown to potential jurors to check for biases. But none of this means Diddy is exposing them. It's just part of the legal process. Let's talk about the impact of all this on the hip-hop community and the entertainment industry as a whole. This case has sparked serious conversations about power dynamics, abuse, and accountability in the music industry. It's also raised questions about the party culture that's been glorified in hip-hop for decades. Let's also discuss the history of these allegations. While the current federal charges were announced in September 2024, the first major public accusation came from Cassie Ventura in November 2023. Her lawsuit alleged years of violent abuse and rape. It was settled for an undisclosed amount just 1 day after filing, but the damage was done. The situation got even worse when footage from 2016 was leaked in 2024, showing Diddy kicking Ventura in a hotel hallway. Diddy issued a public apology stating, "I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now." But by that point, the floodgates had opened, and more accusers came forward. As of April 2025, there are reportedly 63 civil lawsuits against Diddy, with more than 100 individuals either having filed or intending to file claims dating back to 1991. In February 2025 alone, 10 new lawsuits were added ahead of the deadline for New York's Gender Motivated Violence Act, which allowed victims to sue for previously time-barred claims. The media coverage has been intense, with documentaries like Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy on Peacock premiering in January January 2025, and podcasts like BBC Sound's Diddy on Trial and ABC Audio's Bad Rap, The Case Against Diddy, providing ongoing coverage of the case. But regardless of the outcome of this specific trial, the case has already had a significant impact on how we view power, celebrity, and accountability in the entertainment industry. It's led to important conversations about protecting vulnerable individuals and creating safer environments in the music business. One thing's for sure, this case isn't just about Diddy. It's about a system that allegedly enabled abuse and exploitation for decades. As one lawyer involved in the case said, the names that we're going to name are names that will shock you. The full truth may still be coming to light. Looking ahead, what can we expect as the trial progresses? If jury selection is completed on time, opening statements are tentatively set to begin on Monday, May 12th, 2025. The trial is expected to be lengthy, with numerous witnesses and a significant amount of evidence to be presented. As the trial unfolds, we may learn more about the allegations, the evidence supporting them, and potentially more about the celebrities named in the legal documents. Given the high-profile nature of the case, it's likely that media coverage will continue to be extensive. However, as responsible consumers of information, it's crucial to rely on verified sources and approach the information with a critical eye. The case involves serious allegations that, if proven true, involve real victims who have suffered real harm. It's important to remember the human element amid the sensationalism that often surrounds celebrity cases. In terms of potential outcomes, Combs faces severe penalties if convicted. Life in prison is possible for racketeering. There's a 15-year minimum for sex trafficking and a 10-year maximum for transportation for prostitution. However, it's important to remember that in the U.S. legal system, all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It will be up to the prosecution to prove its case and up to the jury to determine if the evidence meets this high standard. 8. Here's the real talk. When Diddy's name popped up in them legal docs, he ain't the only one catching heat. Some of the celebs listed, yeah, they could be looking at serious legal smoke if them claims stick. If you're named as a defendant or accused of doing dirt, the feds might come knocking. But even for the ones not directly charged, just being tied to a case this wild, that's a reputation hit you don't bounce back from easy. See, in the industry, your image is everything. One minute you're doing sold-out shows and red carpets, next minute brands ghost you, fans turn cold, and your name's trending for all the wrong reasons. And for some of these celebs who just got mentioned in passing, they might not be in trouble legally, but people still side-eye you when your name's floating in mess like this. Now step back and look at the big picture. This ain't just about Diddy. If what's being said turns out true, the whole industry got to answer for the shady stuff that's been going on behind closed doors. People tired of the silence and the power games. Folks are calling for real change, real protections for the ones coming up, the ones who usually get used and tossed aside. And yo, Diddy's lawyers are saying the charges are racially motivated. They're pointing fingers at the old laws being used, ones that got deep racist roots. Whether that holds up in court or not, it does bring up something real. We've been seeing how the justice system hits different depending on who you are. Ain't nothing new, but this case is throwing it right in the spotlight again. But don't get it twisted. Under all this drama, there's real pain, real victims, people who say they went through hell. So while the media's out here hyping every twist like it's a movie, we gotta stay focused on what matters. Facts over gossip, truth over noise. What are your thoughts on the celebrities named in the Diddy case? Do you think the truth will finally come out? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click on the cards on screen for more deep dives like this one.